Okay, so the first thing that we're going to look at is if you were given a repo link, okay? But this also works for if you're creating a repo for the first time as well. So on GitHub, you will have the option to create a new repo, which in this case we will be doing. When you do that, keep all of these settings default. You keep that public, no template, off, no git ignore, no license, okay? And then you create the repository on GitHub. Then it will give you this GitHub link over here, which you copy. So you just press that button to copy it. And you go to Github Desktop. You go to File and clone a repository. Now this works both for if you were given a submission link and if you created it on GitHub first. So you go there and you choose a location where to save the repo to. So in this case it's in the GitHub backup, Mast Apps, and I'm not going to put it in the all Mast Apps folder, I'm going to put it in the Mast Apps folder. So we select that folder. It can only contain empty folders, so we'll create a new folder called Github Desktop. We'll go into that folder and we select that folder. One mistake I always make, and I always feel so dumb for making it, don't go to github.com, go to URL, and you paste the URL in there. Okay. So URL, you paste the link. So again, if you were given a submission link, you paste that link in here, and you click on clone. And now it will clone that task for you. Now, the first thing you want to do is show in Explorer, and it will open up this folder over here. This is your GitHub Desktop folder. You want to keep it somewhere minimized. So at the moment, I'm just going to keep it like this, and I'm going to minimize it. But you want to keep that open for later. And then what we do is we create our project now. So there's two ways from here on that you get to work on your project. The first one is if you haven't created your project yet, okay? This is now if you were given a submission link and you're starting your project, you click on Open in Visual Studio Code. This will open up the empty project. And this is where we will go to our view, we open up terminal, and now we can create our app. So npx create expo app, let's call it as task 3 -t, what's it, template blank TypeScript. Expo template blank TypeScript. And now it'll create the project within that as task folder. Okay, so now it's created our Expo app inside of the repo. So here we have our app.tsx, and you can see GitHub automatically picks it up as a project over here under source control. I will show you how to use source control just now, but firstly I want to show you how to use GitHub Desktop. So now if you open it up, you can see we have some green over here and a bunch of files with check marks. This means it's picking up the changes you've made, and it is going to sync those changes to GitHub. So the first thing we type in is a summary, which will be initial commit. Okay, and then we commit 11 files to main. We publish the branch. And now we can view the project on GitHub. So here we have ICE task 3, and if we open that up, here we have our program. So now it is on GitHub, but it is created within the folder. If you have already created the app, okay, for instance, let's say your ICE task 4 that you've made and you want to submit that. What we do then is slightly different. So first let me sign in so I can go to my repos. And I'm going to create an ICE task 4 now. Okay, again, we leave all of these on default settings and we create the repository. We copy the link. We go to GitHub Desktop. We go File, and we go Clone Repository. We make sure URL is selected. We create a new folder here. ICE task 4. Select that folder. And we paste the link in there and we clone it, just like we did before. Now this is in the case that you've already created your project. So let's go show in Explorer, and we'll see over here you have a .git folder which is marked as hidden, and then an empty folder otherwise. Now because I don't have an ICE task 4 created, I'm just going to use ICE task 3 as a demo. Okay, so now I'll open up ICE task 3, and in there we find this folder over here. Now this is in the case you've already made it. Again, like I said, I don't have an ICE task 4, so I'm using ICE task 3 as an example. What you want to do is you want to copy all of these files and you move them across, or you copy them into the new folder. So the one you take the folder where your app is in and you copy those files into the repo folder that you created on GitHub. Now this is going to take a very long time because I selected all of the files including the node modules, but that is how you would do it. And then you open up GitHub Desktop again. And over here it will give you your updated files. Now if you have something like 1022 files, it means that your repository is backing up the node modules. That means we need to do some extra work, and I'm going to show you what to do in task 3. So that's how you would copy your files over to the task 4 repo. But I'm going to delete it because we're going to be working with task 3 now. So we open up Visual Studio Code. Here's our task 3. Okay. So now if we look at task 3 over here, we've already made all the changes. As you can see, there's 0 changed files, there's nothing to commit, there's nothing to push. It is all just default and blank. Now we're going to make some changes. We're going to change the heading over here to Welcome to my Expo app. Okay? And we're going to save this. Now under source control, it's going to pick that up already. Okay? We will do this just now. But first I want to show you how to update on desktop. Desktop is the way I want you guys to do your work. So over here, you'll see it's telling us that we changed this line, the red line, has changed to the green line. Okay? Now we type in a summary. In this case, it is changed the title. And we commit this one file to main, and we push to origin. Okay. So now it is updated on GitHub. If I go to my task 3, you will see here there's the latest change reflecting, changed the title. And if we open up this file, we'll see over there it says welcome to my Expo app. Okay, so now that is how you work on your app on GitHub. If someone else makes a change, for instance for your wool app, okay, let's say they worked on the app, I'm going to do it just straight on GitHub, just to make life simpler. And I'm going to say this is a subtitle. Okay, and I commit changes over here. I can go added a subtitle, and I commit these changes. This is now if someone else in your group works on the same project. They cloned the repo, they did some work, and they pushed, okay? Then what you want to do then, as you can see on my program, the subtitle is not displaying, okay? That is because I need to go to Github Desktop and I need to click on Fetch Origin. Fetch Origin will have a look at GitHub and pull the most recent version of the project onto your device. So there you want to pull origin, and now it should reflect the latest changes. There we have, this is a subtitle. And that's how you guys can work collaboratively on GitHub. Okay, for wool, yes. Okay, and that's what I want you guys to focus on when you are using GitHub, especially GitHub Desktop. And I don't want you guys to use terminal or source control, because those two tend to break and is difficult to manage, especially in collaborative settings.